The film opens with Keiko and her father working together to craft sushi, a traditional Japanese dish celebrated worldwide. Keiko's father, who believes that making sushi is as much an art as martial arts, has been training her every day. After tasting Keiko's sushi, her father harshly declares that she will never become a sushi chef. Heartbroken by his words, Keiko flees from him. Keiko seeks refuge at a resort inn, hoping to find work, but her luck seems to take a turn for the worse. The waiter she's assigned to work with disrupts her by burdening her with an overwhelming amount of food. Shortly after, a group of business people arrives at the restaurant, and the owner, along with the waiters, greets them with utmost courtesy. However, moments later, Keiko stumbles into the room with food precariously balanced on her head, drawing laughter from the entire business team. The owners, Mr. Hanamaki and Yumi Hanamaki, sternly reprimand Keiko from the backyard, but despite her pleas for forgiveness, they dismiss her and walk away. However, Sawada, who witnessed the incident from a distance, approaches Keiko to console her. He gently suggests that she should try out different jobs to discover what suits her best, mentioning that he excels at gardening. Then, unexpectedly, he grabs her hand, examining it closely, and asserts that her hands are perfect for handling fish. When she questions his reasoning, he quickly brushes it off, claiming they need to go back to work. Meanwhile, a couple is strolling near the hot spring, and as they arrive, the man teases his girlfriend, remarking that she took longer than she claimed and suggests a penalty. He tells her that she must kiss him, or they won't look like a couple. She hesitates, but before she can respond, he suddenly kisses her. Just as she pulls away, she catches sight of a man nearby, causing her to gasp in shock. Her boyfriend, noticing sushi in the stranger's hands, angrily confronts him and kicks him. However, the mysterious man, Yamada, revealing a strange power, summons magical fish that swiftly attack, killing them both. Yeni Hanamaki approaches Chef Tsuchida, informing him that a new customer has placed a large demand for sushi. As Yeni starts to express her concern, Tsuchida interrupts her, telling her not to worry, and unexpectedly kisses her. Keiko, as usual, is in a hurry while hosting a group of business people. Their boss touches her in a way she doesn't like. Though she's upset, she holds back. During dinner, Chef Tsuchida enters the room and introduces himself as a master sushi chef, earning immediate admiration from the business team. He proceeds to demonstrate various sushi techniques, impressing everyone, but Keiko watches with growing unease, unsure of the methods he's using. As she begins to question what's happening, another waiter urges her to stay quiet and stand still. Finally, Tsuchida presents his special sushi, fatty tuna sushi. Keiko's frustration boils over, as this approach contradicts everything her father taught her. She mutters to herself that her father would be deeply disappointed if he saw what Tsuchida was doing. Tsuchida continues to serve sushi with various ingredients and flavors, but when he introduces egg sushi, the mood shifts. The business customers show their displeasure, stating that they didn't come for something as simple as egg sushi. Frustrated by their reaction, Keiko mutters an insult, but everyone hears her comment. Afterward, Keiko confronts Chef Tsuchida, telling him that his approach to making sushi is wrong, and accusing him of disrespecting the craft. Frustrated, she turns to the business customers and asserts that while they may not appreciate the egg sushi, it still has its place in the culinary world. She boldly accuses them of pretending to be experts when, in reality, they don't truly understand or respect the art of sushi making. Mr. Hanamaki storms over to Keiko, furious, and tells her she's fired on the spot. As she stands her ground, Chef Tsuchida, unexpectedly impressed by her behavior, decides to attack her. Though Keiko tries to maintain her composure, she quickly finds herself defending against his blows and begins to fight back, delivering powerful kicks. Soon, the entire group of businessmen, siding with Tsuchida, join in the fight, but Keiko, with remarkable skill, takes them all on, overpowering them with ease, leaving them unable to keep up with her. Nosaka steps in just in time to shield Keiko from a punch thrown by one of his teammates. Standing firm, he declares that he sides with the victims when the company is in the wrong. His boss, enraged, warns Nosaka that he could lose his job, despite being a highly capable worker. However, before the argument escalates, Yamada sneaks up from behind and starts to suffocate the boss. Then Yamada reveals that he was once the head of the new medicine development department. He reminds them that under Komatsu's orders, he developed a serum intended to revive the cells of dead creatures. Though the research initially seemed successful, he confesses that there was an unforeseen side effect. The serum transformed the revived creatures into monsters. He warns them that if anyone is bitten by one of these monsters, they will become infected. As Yamada continues talking, Mr. Hanamaki suddenly shoots at him from behind. startling everyone. He orders his guests to retreat to their rooms, trying to regain control of the situation. But Yamada, far from being defeated, channels his energy into re-energizing the squid sushi. He orders the squid sushi to bite and kill everyone in the inn. Meanwhile, Keiko is locked in a fierce struggle with Miss Enomoto. As she defends herself, she catches sight of a flying sushi heading straight for her. In a twist of fate, Enomoto accidentally kicks the squid sushi into another room. This triggers a chain reaction. The infected squid sushi begins to spread its curse, transforming other sushi into evil creatures that launch a wild attack on everyone around. The scene descends into chaos, with the sushi, now both magical and terrifying, wreaking damage. Amid the madness, the sushi swarm overwhelms and kills Enomoto. Keiko finds herself in the staff room, frantically trying to break down the door. Just as she's about to make her escape, Sawada appears on the other side, but he's tied up with ropes. She quickly unties him, and in a panic, tells him that she saw a flying sushi. However, Sawada dismisses her story, thinking she's lost her mind. Instead of dwelling on her claims, Sawada shifts the conversation, revealing that when he first saw her hands, he recognized great potential in her, not just as a chef only, but also as a fighter, and perhaps even a hero. He then points to a picture and shares a painful memory. 5 years ago, he was the head chef, working alongside his wife. One day, a heated argument with a customer spiraled out of control, and in the chaos, he accidentally stabbed his wife. Since that tragic day, he developed a phobia of knives. As Mr. Hanamaki prepares to bury Yamada, he is horrified to see Yamada standing upright, seemingly revived. Shocked and terrified, Mr. Hanamaki bolts upstairs, but in his panic, he crashes headfirst into one of the business team members. At that moment, the squid sushi bursts onto the scene and starts devouring the businessman. Mr. Hanamaki, now in a complete state of fear, runs to the nearest room, desperate to escape the chaos. Meanwhile, Yumi Hanamaki and Chef Tsuchida, lost in their world, are making love, unaware of the impending danger. Unbeknownst to them, the sushi around them has become infected, and with a sinister energy, they begin to re-energize. Meanwhile, on the other side, Sawada and Keiko are struggling to open the stuffed door when, out of nowhere, Mr. Sawada lets out an unexpected fart. Keiko immediately pauses, turning to Sawada with a puzzled expression, asking what's wrong with him. As they exchange words, the egg sushi perched on Keiko's shoulder suddenly begins to cough. Startled, Sawada reacts by kicking the egg sushi off her shoulder. Keiko rushes toward the sushi, intending to eliminate it. But as she gets closer, she notices its frightened expression and realizes it's not one of the monstrous sushi they've encountered. The egg sushi then breaks into a song that somehow softens their hearts, leading them to change their approach. Eventually, they decide to use the egg sushi's acidic properties to unlock the door. Chef Tsuchida apologizes to the businessmen for the earlier inconvenience, and their boss requests a body sushi service involving the waitress. The waitress hesitates, but Yumi Hanamaki firmly instructs them to comply, and they begin dancing as Tsuchida places sushi on their bodies. Meanwhile, Keiko encounters one of the businessmen upstairs, only to find his face being consumed by sushi. He tells her she can't pass, because he needs to accomplish something impressive for his boss before she does so, but she slips past him by sliding between his legs. Before she can escape, the man asks for a kiss, leaving Keiko in shock. Just then, the sushi on his face viciously tears into his flesh. The injured businessman, his face ravaged by sushi, stumbles into the room where his boss and the waitresses are gathered. Nosaka tries to stop him, but at that moment, the waitresses are savagely attacked by the sushi. As the number of killer sushi increases, they begin to attack everyone in the inn, biting and killing anyone they encounter. Keiko rushes in, fighting back and killing the sushi with Nosaka standing by her side. But Tsuchida is overwhelmed and ultimately killed by the sushi. Afterward, Yumi Hanamaki quietly admits to herself that she loves Tsuchida. As she speaks, Sushi suddenly attacks her. Her husband, who had been silently listening from the corner of the room, overhears her confession and, in a fit of rage, grabs a knife to strike her. Just as he is about to attack, Sawada intervenes, stopping him and sternly commanding him not to harm his wife. Meanwhile, the boss and Nosaka are running when they unexpectedly encounter Yamada. Yamada reveals that his true intention is to see the boss fall so he can take over by killing him. Consuming tuna sushi, Yamada undergoes a grotesque transformation, his face morphing into something alien. Nosaka, seizing the opportunity, locks the boss in a cabinet, believing Yamada will finish him off, and declares that he will take control. Yamada charges at the boss, but in his haste, accidentally breaks the handcuffs, allowing the boss to escape, though he ultimately meets his end. Keiko, rallying the survivors, encourages them to fight for their lives. But then, one of the businessmen suddenly transforms into a zombie, and others who had been attacked by the man eating sushi also turn into zombies. They all converge on the group, intent on attacking. Sawada urges everyone to head to a barn about 400 meters away, and they make a run for it, though two people are lost to the sushi, which has become even more dangerous and powerful. Once inside the barn, Keiko finds Nosaka calmly eating, seemingly unbothered by the chaos outside. Confused, she asks him what he's doing, and he casually replies that it took them long enough to arrive. The zombies close in to attack, and Yumi Hanamaki, slowly transforming into one herself, confesses to her husband that she cheated on him and apologizes before biting him as well. Sawada is bitten by sushi, but Keiko swiftly removes it from his neck. Just as more sushi swarm to attack, an unexpected sound wave from Sawada kills them. Sawada and Keiko gear up for a final battle with Yamada and the sushi. Keiko fights off the zombies, killing them, while Sawada uses his sound waves to eliminate the sushi. Keiko then faces Yamada in a fierce struggle that proves more challenging than her earlier battles. Yamada, using his strength, sends a special sushi to attack her. The egg sushi, now an ally, intervenes by kissing her and fighting off the sushi. Yamada returns to the fight, but is shot by Nosaka, though he survives and reveals he ate infected ramen, which ultimately kills Nosaka. In the end, with the help of the egg sushi, Keiko manages to kill Yamada, but the egg sushi dies in the process. Keiko tells Sawada the fight is finally over. In a tender moment, Sawada prepares a special sushi for Keiko, complimenting her and encouraging her not to give up. She eats it, feeling a mix of relief and gratitude. The movie concludes with Keiko returning to her father, fearing he won't accept her apology for running away. To her surprise, he forgives her. Just then, Sushi lunges to attack her father, but Keiko swiftly intervenes, disabling the sushi by removing its nerves, protecting her father, and reaffirming their bond. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.